And now it's time for the Impact Wrestling Report. Here's your host, Mathew Shaffer.
This is the Impact Wrestling Report. I'm your host, Mathew Shaffer. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Mathew_Shaffer. Of course, you're watching this video on the After One Wrestling channel. If you like this video, want more content such as NXT reviews and the infamous now Raw and SmackDown review with Big Ray and Real Big Rick Vickery, you can go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Be notified when you get new content such as this. Hopefully you enjoy. So let's get down to it, to an action-packed edition where Impact scaled the United States for this edition of Impact Wrestling on June 28th, 2018. Tonight's Impact started off with a recap reviewing the Impact Tag Team Championships that changed hands to LAX, the Eddie Edwards continuation of his mental breakdown, Jimmy Jacobs and Congo Kong Madison Rayne's victory and declaration of her challenge now for the Impact Knockouts Championship at Slammiversary against Su Yung, as well as Killer Cross's interview from last week, as well as the ongoing rivalry now between OVE Sami Callihan and Pentagon Jr. Now, Impact starts with Madison Rayne making her way to the ring, so we're going to get a interaction, if you will, a promo from Madison Rayne. So she starts out by saying that while she didn't have the intention to wrestle again, she's overjoyed with her decision. She then runs down all the knockouts that she has defeated recently, that being Tessa Blanchard and Taya Valkyrie. She then declares that at Impact Slammiversary, she has the opportunity, a moment, to become a 6-time Knockouts Women's Champion. She goes on to admit that last week, Su Yung did get in her head a bit and spooked her. And she says maybe she should be afraid, as Rosemary is within a coffin and Allie was put into a coffin, and both those ladies haven't been seen since. She goes on to talk about being a good mother. However, she's not going to let the monster Su Yung scare this mommy and going to live by her own words. We then get an interruption from Tessa Blanchard. Now, Tessa Blanchard comes out to the ring and she says, "This has to be a joke, right? I'm waiting for the punchline." She then continues to run down Madison Rayne in a sarcastic manner, making jokes at her and, not too positive of light, her being a mother and having wrestled in such a long time. And how, of course, last week's victory was a fluke. I'm sorry, not last week, but the week before, when she became the #1 contender. This goes back and forth for a bit, putting each other down. The conclusion of the segment comes when Su Young's music is blared over the intercom PA system, as well as the lights seem to flash a bit. This distracted Madison Rayne, so one could say Su Yung got in her head once again. And Tessa Blanchard was able to take an opportunity with this, knock her out with a vicious elbow strike, leaving Madison Rayne laying in the ring as Tessa Blanchard exited. Now, my thoughts, as I thought this actually served as a good opening Impact. Madison Rayne delivered a promo that she might have delivered in the past. However, it got across her point that she's looking to become a Impact 6-time Women's Champion. Tessa Blanchard looked strong. She delivered a great promo. I thought the ending segment, of course, with the lights was just a little hokey, but it definitely it makes sense for what they're trying to accomplish and getting in the head of Madison Rayne. And it did set up the main event, which then is announced because of this later on in the evening between Tessa Blanchard versus Madison Rayne. We then go to our first match of the night, the debut of Rich Swann, husband of Su Yung, for those unaware, as he took on Trevor Lee in a one-on-one match. Well, let's just say the match started off with Trevor Lee going for a test of strength. However, Rich Swann played a bit of mind games as he did his patented dance. And, they had a kind of a pose-off, if you will. Rich Swann then hit him with a drop kick and knocked him out of the ring. Swann then acted as if he was going for a suicide dive, but faked into 2 backflips off the ropes. And he posed as we went to our first commercial break. We come back from break and we see Swann putting in the strikes to Lee in the corner. Swann nailed a vicious kick to the shoulder blades before Trevor Lee took over the match. Lee did go for the cover, but Swann was able to kick out. Minutes later in the match, we saw Lee land a huge backdrop where Swann flipped a full 360 degrees. Swann tended to pose a good amount throughout the match. He did slow things down a bit by using some submission moves and some more tactical strikes. Later on, Swann did go for a schoolboy pin, however, Lee kicked out. At one point in the match, you will see here, Rich Swann has a star-shaped design shaved into his scalp. I would have to assume that has to be because of his receding hairline. I found it interesting here they zoomed up on him, but not other superstars throughout the night, which I will complain and rant about at the end. Toward the end of the match, we saw Swan dive off the top turnbuckle to the outside with an explosive inverted front somersault. The conclusion of the match saw Swan landing a variation of that same 360 somersault off the second turnbuckle and pinned Lee. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Rich Swann, the brand new Impact Wrestling star. I thought Swan made an impressive debut, my opinion, that is. And he didn't go over too much with the high spots, which I think will allow his foray of moveset to slowly show itself in the next upcoming weeks as we lead into Slammiversary. We then get a reminder of tonight's House of Hardcore Fallout with Tommy Dreamer. We then go to Los Angeles for a reminder that Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan just recently fought at PCW. We then cut to the highlight package itself of Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan inside of a steel cage out at PCW in Los Angeles. Now throughout the highlight itself, Josh Matthews and Don Callis broke everything down. Now as you can see here, OVE eventually did enter the steel cage and the onslaught continued. Sami Callihan was giving orders now, and he had OVE hold Pentagon Jr. down as Callihan begins to remove his mask. And well, he is successful. Now he did get Pentagon Jr.'s mask off, however Pentagon Jr. did cover himself up fairly quickly, so his face was not revealed. It is a clear sign though of ultimate disrespect from Sami Callihan, and this continues to add heat to this ongoing feud. We then cut to a GWN Vault match, another one. I was hoping with more indie awareness on this episode, with the addition of the segment being shot on location at different events, we wouldn't get too much GWN Vault, but we did. And tonight's GWN Vault was the King of the Mountain match, one of TNA's interesting match choices in their pay-per-view lineups in the past. An interesting match itself. That being said, while I did not watch the full match, I did take some time to appreciate seeing Monty Brown and the pounds. Period. We then cut to Grotto backstage shirtless, and we see Katarina, or the formerly known as Winter, enter the screen. Her and Grotto have a back and forth about the relationship. She then announces that next week she will be having her returning match, as the last one was interrupted a couple weeks ago. We then now cut out to the ring for now the debut of the Desi Hit Squad, and starts with Gama Singh, and he's in the ring cutting a promo introducing and hyping up the new challengers, that being Gursinder Singh and Rohit Raju. And you can actually listen to an interview the Impact Attack did with them back a couple weeks on hackerhaming.podbean.com with Big Ray, the man. Big Ray Hernandez. How you doing? It's revealed after Desi Hit Squad gets the great introduction, they will be taking on the former tag team champions, DJ Z and Andrew Everett, Z and E. This match starts with Everett and Rohit Raju locking up. Andrew Everett took control of the match early on and was able to quickly tag in DJ Z to get up some of their patented double team moves. DJ Z went for the first pin attempt and Raju kicked out. Raju took control, tagged in Singh, but came up short on a double team move as he hit his own partner, Raju. Z then tried to take control and he tagged in Everett. Singh blocked the tag in, and Rohit fought on with DJ Z. DJ Z fought back and took out both opponents. Both opponents, that being Rohit Raju and Gursinder Singh, rolled to the outside. Z attempted a suicide dive. They caught him, and then Everett attempted a baseball slide, and they evaded him, and then eventually threw Z at E. It was a really cool spot to see. Later on in the match, we saw Everett land an amazing match to the Hit Squad on the outside. The conclusion of the match saw Andrew Everett hitting a top rope move. Now, as he did that, Gama Singh jumped up on the apron, distracted the ref from actually counting. So when Andrew Everett then went to confront Singh and the ref, well, unfortunately, that's where Gursinder rolled up Everett and got the pin. The Desi Hit Squad is your winner. Now, here's my thoughts on this. I thought it was a good match. However, I didn't like how the Desi Hit Squad got their victory. I would have either rather seen them, I don't know, get disqualified due to too much aggression, or in this instance of a distraction, it maybe not be a roll-up, have him, you know, perform a low blow or a illegal move normally, and then hit the finisher. Because it just didn't feel like I got hit squad from the match. It was a good match. Both competitors great. Left me to believe, though, there was no squad and nobody really got hit. I mean, unless, like, the hit squad now means, like, picking up wins by any means necessary, which in that case they did do. We then come back from a commercial break and we hear Pentagon Jr. challenging Sami Callihan at his upcoming Slammiversary to a hair versus mask match. This, of course, being the fallout from the previous clips and vignettes throughout the night that showcase Sami Callihan will be attacking him at PCW in Los Angeles. We then cut to Josh and Don running down some more Impact highlights, and also announced that Impact is coming to Mexico on MX52 in July. To stay tuned to their Twitter and website for more details. We also saw a vignette from the challenger Moose as he gets ready to take on Austin Aries at Slammiversary. And if you'd like more information on Moose, I highly encourage you to seek it out. It was a very well produced package on Moose's life, from becoming a NFL football star, well, or an NFL football player, something like, you know, oh, he's a star, right? You know, it's not like I'm gonna have to be a football player. So, NFL athlete, and he ended up becoming a TNA wrestler. Now, of course, Impact Wrestling. And head to Philadelphia now for the continuation of the unraveling of Eddie Edwards. So we start off hot in this highlight as we see Eddie Edwards holding a kendo stick, and he blasts Tommy Dreamer over the top of the head and forehead, which I thought was very interesting that he would take such a vicious headshot like that. It looked really unprotected. However, he definitely sold the beating, because after it busted him wide open, Eddie ended up choking him out, as well as scraping his head, you know, with the kendo stick itself. He then left a battered and bloody Tommy Dreamer laying in the ring. He's then exiting the arena, and that's when Moose confronts him like, hey, what's going on? You shouldn't be doing that, man. Like, Tommy's our boy. He always protects us. What are you doing, bro? And Eddie Edwards yells, leave that alone, Moose! Then he leaves. So that's the end of the Philadelphia and Eddie Edwards update for the week. Thank you, courtesy to House of Hardcore there, of course, for the images. We then go backstage to the LAX hideout. King is on a phone call with somebody. Then the LAX tag team champions come in and they're celebrating about having the tag team gold, about having lots of money. And all of a sudden, Conan walks into the hideout. Now Conan approaches King and he says, I know you're denying what you did to me. And the King shouldn't try to deny things if he can't back them up, and that he's going to end up deserving a slap in the face. This enrages King to the point where he ends up leaving and telling the LAX tag champs to handle your boy. Conan goes on to say to the champs that, look, he's going to end up showing them the proof that he knows what's really going on. King is denying the attack, and he's got the evidence. So I guess we'll find out more if Conan will expose who really took him out. After the backstage segment with LAX, we then cut to our next match of the evening, an X Division match itself, with Desmond Xavier going one-on-one with Matt Sydal. This one was a quick one, as it did start off fast and furious. Sydal at one point at the beginning of the match played possum under the ring, and after re-emerging, Desmond Xavier took control in the corner. The ref did eventually pull him away as he was being counted to 5. This allowed Sydal to take control of the match, where he had a vicious dragon screw leg sweep. And as you can see here, it was pretty nasty. Desmond Xavier looks like he did just get a bit hurt. Maybe something got twisted. Anyway, Sydal then went to work on Xavier's leg, so he did at least include it now within the match itself, or as it could have been a planned spot. After he continued to dominate on due to the leg injury. Later on in the match, we saw Desmond Xavier attempt and land a front flip to Matt Sydal on the outside. However, Desmond Xavier came down on said leg. Because of the injury and pain now Desmond Xavier was feeling, he was slow to move up the top turnbuckle at the conclusion of this match. At the conclusion, he was attempting to climb it. Sydal grabbed him, reversed him, hit his finisher, and pinned him with the 1, 2, 3. Decent match, very short. Immediately afterwards, Brian Cage made his way down to the ring, but before he could even get into the ring to try and attack Matt Sydal, the Princess and Congo Kong made their way down, and Congo Kong attacked Brian Cage. Then threw him into the match. They beat him down some more, all three, and then what was simply amazing, we saw a 340-pound man jump off the top turnbuckle for a body slam splash, onto Brian Cage itself. And boy, did that ring shake, and the crowd there in Windsor, Ontario went nuts. We then go to commercial break, and we see a crazy cam where Sami Callihan says he accepts Pentagon's Junior Challenge for Slammiversary. Don Callis and Josh Matthews then recap some more, and then they announce that Killer Kross is debuting next week, as well as Congo Kong will go one-on-one with Brian Cage. We then go backstage with a response from Austin Aries, who wanted to respond to Moose's vignette earlier in the night, who's on his path to the Heavyweight Championship. Now, Austin Aries went on to say that, look, Moose is good, but he ends up crapping all over Moose's rise to the top. He says that he didn't fail. He says that he didn't fail in his first career, alluding to the fact that Moose failed in the NFL. And that choice number 2, being wrestling now for Moose, is going to end just like the first one, of failure. And next week, he's going to show his story, as his ends with triumph, not tragedy. He says Moose is desperate, but he is no match for the belt collector, Austin Aries. And back to the main event now in the ring. The main event of the evening, that being Tessa Blanchard versus Madison Rayne. Now, Tessa Blanchard was certainly the aggressor from the start, as she delivered multiple hellacious strikes and attempted multiple pinfalls, while Rayne was able to kick out of them each time. Rayne did try to fight back at one point, but Tessa continued to maintain control. Turning point came in the match when Tessa came off the top rope and Rayne evaded, thus letting Rayne take control and attempted her own pinfall itself. Tessa did come back quickly from that, and she did retake control. Tessa then followed up with multiple pinfalls. However, Rayne was able to kick out once more. Later on in the match, Madison reversed a Irish whip, hit a spear, and this both led to both competitors being fatigued as they were both laid out on the match. And the conclusion of the match came with Tessa laying the boots to Madison in the turnbuckle corner. The ref broke it up. Now, Tessa was arguing with the ref. She pushed the ref away, and as she did, she grabbed Madison Rayne, took her to the middle of the ring, put her up for her finisher. However, Rayne reversed, hit her into a crucifix pin, and got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Your winner once again over Tessa Blanchard, Madison Rayne. Now, after the match, Tessa Blanchard did begin to beat down Madison Rayne. So much so she was attempting to get a chair and then demolish her with this chair itself when Su Young's music hit. Su Young came out to the ring with the Undead Brides. They surrounded the ring. Tessa left, smart, intelligent, I would say. And then they got in the ring and beat her down. Beat down Madison Rayne, that is. Now, just before Su Young was about to go up and hit her finisher, that being the panic switch, Allie then returned and cleared the ring, as she has not been seen since the Under Pressure special. And that was how Impact Wrestling ended itself. Now, I alluded to this earlier in this video about up-close facials. This was a little odd. They never gave us a clear front shot of Allie's face. I don't know if maybe she was recovering from a surgery, maybe she had some makeup issues, maybe she just got smacked in the face or something from training and wrestling, but they never really gave us a close-up or face shot reaction of Allie making her return. Thought that was a little weird. Match itself was quite good. Madison Rayne did win, however, I thought it, unfortunately pushed Tessa Blanchard down the card a little bit more. I know she can cut a good promo, and she's, continued to be poised to move up the knockouts ladder. However, I just wish that Su Young had interfered in the match. That way Tessa didn't actually get a loss itself or a pinfall loss. That'd be even a goofy pinfall, a roll-up, or a crucifix. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for today's edition of the Impact Wrestling Report, June 28th, 2018. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you want more content. You can even check out Michael Jargo's recent NXT review breakdown from last week, as well as the 10,000 view video and counting Big Ray Hernandez and Rick Vickery breaking down Raw and SmackDown with the Raw Smack Talk Show. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and go ahead and head on over to OneWrestling PENTAGON.com for all your news and reviews. If you'd like to join a great group in discussion, you can head on over to one of our own, of course, Big Ray Hernandez, part of the Hami Me discussion group. Converse, discuss with a bunch of other wrestling fans, join the Hameen Army, and listen to the Hacker Hameen Media group each and every day at Hameen Media, hackerhameenmedia.podbean.com, and all other online media outlets. You can also find me on Twitter, like I said, Matthew_Shaffer, on Instagram at Matthew_Shaffer. I also do facilitate the Hameen Media Group Twitter account. Give us a follow there at Hameen Media Group. Of course, at One Wrestling, at After One Wrestling for the legendary famous Bill After. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, don't go too far. Join us next week on the IWR.